What's going on, YouTube? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing great as usual. Thank you guys again so much for all the love, guys. Man, I'm loving it, guys. I love the conversations. I do want to apologize. I haven't been able to get back to you guys sooner. Man, you guys don't understand how bad I want to get back to you guys in those comments and just reply and just have good conversation with you guys, man. It's fun, but it's just hard, guys, right now with work, and I feel so bad because like I get your comments, like I get text messages and notifications and emails and stuff like that. I make sure that they are all on, so they come through and I get to read them all, and that's why I keep telling you guys. Believe me when I tell you, I do read them. It's just really hard to get back because I'm always at work, and when I'm at work, it's like work. So I got no time to really be doing anything else but that. And it's hard. So I do apologize, but man, all right, guys. So we got to talk, guys. I'm just really going to just talk about these three TVs right here, and just I will be using some examples and things like that during these demos, but I do just strictly want to have a conversation because you know I'm kind of getting tired of like trying to be technical or talk about certain things like tone mapping and stuff, and I do like talking about that kind of stuff, and it is important to me, and those are things that are super important to me, but I also want to just talk about the feeling of having these TVs, and just like why I love them, you know what I mean? So that's really kind of what this video is going to be about. And as you guys can see, we have all three TVs in the 77-inch. To the left is the LG G4, in the middle is the S90D, excuse me, and all the way to the right is the Sony A95L. I do have them in standard mode with my personal settings incorporated into them. I definitely changed a lot of settings to get to the picture that I personally like in examples like we are running right now. And the example that we are running right now is one of my favorite content creators. Her name is Jennifer Gala. This is her second channel, which is the HDR Super channel. And I will leave the description to the video and her channel in I'm sorry, I will leave the link to my description in the channel and of her channel and the video. So check her out. I'm telling you guys, she is yeah, it's something else. If you really want to like see what your TVs can actually do and actually are capable of, and incorporate your own settings into them, just so you can really see them out, just use her channel. Trust me, she has so many different channels and variables. 4,000 nick content, 5,000. I mean, the list goes on and on. And HDR 10, Dolby Vision. Man, it's truly just the best. So she is definitely one of my favorite contents for that, and this is why. So, anyways, guys, another thing is try to ignore the pink tint that you see on the QD OLEDs. The of course the S90D and the A95L. I think you guys should know at this point that is literally the tint of the TVs, and the camera just catching that tint. You don't really see it with the naked eye, although yes, it is a little bit noticeable with the naked eye. It's nothing close to what it looks like in through the camera. Anyways, guys, let's just plainly talk for a second here. Man, it's hard to explain, but if you were, let's just say, to strictly talk picture quality, guys, like, and as an enthusiast, as somebody who really doesn't have a huge knack in their home or huge care in their home for like accuracy, and you just want the picture to pop and be vibrant and just really, show what the TV is actually capable of, and just having an eye catcher in your home. I mean, you know, in HDR 4K, I mean, the S90D just kind of takes the win there for me. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like you turn the TVs on. Let's say you turn them on at the same time and you just start watching whatever is on. Your eyes will just gravitate automatically to the S90D. I mean, it doesn't matter like who walks in here, um, family members, friends, it doesn't matter. They will clearly, if I had all three TVs on at the same time, they will clearly tell you without knowing whatever is what. The S90D is just so nice. It has a certain pop to it that you just can't get on an A95L or the G4. All right. It's just that simple. So, as you guys know and remember, or if you follow my channel, you will know that the A95L is like my overall favorite TV. That spread has slowly been getting closer and closer. For example, you can get more clarity out of an S90D just naturally, just because of Samsung's science, whatever you want to call it, their processing. It's going to look sharper. The colors are going to pop more. Your blacks are going to be more inky when they need to be. Shadow detail is about equal, but it's just an overall sharper image. Reflections look better in the S90D. Just colors just pop more, and I think it was always the same case anyways. We all know Sony kind of holds back on that kind of stuff. But guys, listen, it's the kind of image that when you look at, you're literally just blown away. It's that simple. So it's like you start to think in the back of your mind is like, why? But you start also noticing that it's not always 100% about image quality, even though that's probably the biggest portion of what the reason you buy premium TV for. But guys, I gotta say that like the A95L may be my favorite overall TV. I think a lot of it, if we're being honest, which I always am, but like if it has a lot to do with how much you spend on the TV too. So like I feel like it has to be my favorite TV if I spent that much money on it, right? I mean, like there's no way, but you know, last year's models, it was the better TV, hands down. It was just the best overall TV. It had more details than the G3. It had the right amount of color, even though it wasn't as colorful as the S95C. It still had QD OLED color, and you didn't mind it as much that it didn't pop like a Samsung S95C back then, because it still had the better processing, the sharper image, it still had more details, more fine details, the better motion and things like that, right? Model year later, these brands make their tweaks to compete more in those perspectives, and then all of a sudden it's beating just in a blink of an eye that you know that fast. It's just that darn impressive. And I gotta say, guys, it's just like I said, that competition is getting thinner and thinner. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that Sony took a year off and really just let's say, created a new processor and they're going to come out with the, you know, a new QD OLED next model year, and it's going to look extremely impressive. So I hope that they do that, because I don't see anybody purchasing or having a reason to purchase a Sony QD OLED if they don't do something to change it and make the competition a little bit more spread. But then again, processing is so good. Like, how much better can they make their processing to make it worth that premium? Now that we kind of like learned our lesson through this, or at least me, that's just the way I'm thinking right now. So like, it's hard to explain, but you know, I think, like, for example, when the A95K came out, um, it was kind of like obvious, but you can still see the differences of why it was more expensive than the S95B. Like, you could understand why. And then, you know, A95L comes out, S90D comes out, and like, you don't longer really see enough difference to, uh, go with an A95L over an S95C, or, an S90D even. You just don't see it anymore because they made so much improvements. And what I feel like they did was, it's kind of like they made a lot of minor improvements to be more competitive with processing. Clearly, LG went an entire new generation of processing. And I got to tell you guys something. Their processing is silky smooth. Like, there'll be like motion issues that you see on the S90D and the A95L, even with the A95L's improvements of motion over the A95K. You still see how much better the motion is, especially in challenging scenes, that the G4 just handles better. Like, there's no flickering, there's no frame skipping, there's no like artifacts in motion. The G4 processing, guys, I'm telling you, like, especially in like slow pan shots, kind of like this, you will certainly notice the motion be as smooth as silk with the G4. And then you guys got to remember, everyone has a different primary use case. Like, for me, it's gaming. So I really judge what my purchase is based off of gaming. The A95L, even though I knew it wasn't quite the gaming TV, I knew it would be good enough for RPG. I knew I would have a great experience in RPG gaming. I just knew I would, and I was 100% right. I mean, I gamed. Oh, I should probably do this. I gamed on that TV. God, guys, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I spent the majority of that time after I bought the A95L and got shipped to my house, probably like 6, 7, 8 months straight, even longer. Majority gaming with RPG games, guys. Like, there was just like a thing there where I was truly just, gaming on the A95L when it came to my RPG games. I was like, if I'm going to play an RPG game, I'm going to play on the A95L, hands down. It's just the best overall experience. It's got the details. Yeah, it may not have the pop as the S95C, but it still has really good QD OLED color science that's, processed by Sony. And they have really good motion and things like that. So I was like, let's just do it. And that's what I did, and I don't regret it. I have a love for RPG gaming on the A95L because it definitely is a good experience. But let me tell you guys, once the S90D and the G4 came out, that's changed quick. All right, guys. I'm talking quick. I mean, you guys know that I got the G4 and before the S90D, and I mean, I just couldn't stop. I still cannot stop playing on the LG G4 because now not only do I have still amazing blacks contrast, I have better processing than the A95L in game mode. I have the brightness now that the G3 didn't have. And yeah, maybe I don't have all the color that a QD OLED can do with the A95L, but I still have good color, really, really good color, to the point where, honestly, guys, most of the time you're probably not even going to notice the difference. You guys got to remember these color gamut difference percentages between the brands are noticeable, but they're a very, very small percent difference. I'm talking 3% difference, 4% difference in color gamut for HDR, BT 2020. I mean, DCP. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're very close, regardless of whatever color space you're referring to. And you know what, guys? When you can get amazing processing that can pull out details, and when you can get really just smooth, butter smooth motion, I mean, it's like in game mode, and they just made those improvements in 1 year against their own brand, the G3, their own model. How can you go wrong? You know what I mean? Then I get the S90D. I just couldn't handle it because I just know how much I love Samsung's color science. I always have. I've always thought forever. I mean, since their QLEDs back in the day, mid 2015s or 16s and up. I can't remember when QLED was first ever introduced to the market, but my first model was a 2017 model. And that's when they were edge-lit in the color I thought was just ridiculously amazing. I actually picked that TV before an OLED. It was between that and the LG E7. And then I got the Samsung first. I needed another TV for my TV room, so that's when I bought the LG E7 a few, like 4 months later, for that room. And it was the same at my house. I liked the contrast better, that 3D effect better with the LG, but it wasn't as bright, or it wasn't as colorful as my Samsung. I think it was the Q7, I believe is what it was. Yeah. And I just couldn't figure it out. I just didn't know. So I needed both of them. And that's just how it's been ever since, because Samsung's color science, Samsung's approach on how they want their TVs to look color wise, in my personal opinion, there's no brand that's really better than them. I do want to try out. I do have the uh, Hisense U8K. I really like the color in that. It is a mini LED, so I know it's a mini LED, and I noticed the difference. I'm actually considering getting the U8N in the 85 inch. That is on sale right now, I think, for like 16.99. I mean, if you look up the reviews for that TV, it is just like, it's just insane. I mean, it's cutthroat insanity, quality wise, and what you get for your money in that TV. It's like basically the mini LED version of the S90D. You know what I mean? Like crazy, crazy value for a very little amount of money. And it's an 85 inch, so I'm definitely considering that one. But anyways, guys, you know, not to come get off subject, but I gotta tell you guys, man, the time that we're in right now for the TV industry is to the point where these brands are making strides, right? They're like literally making strides to give you the best bang for your buck. And then it's it's weird because there's a whole other side um of the aspect of premium TVs where they're making you think, because they're charging a lot more money, that they are that much better because of their name. And that at this point would be Sony. For some reason, I just feel like, let's just say, I mean, I'm a big PS5 console gamer, right? It's like, why would Sony not make their best TVs look the best when they're paired with their TVs? Their consoles are paired with their TVs. It's the same brand. I know that they're different divisions, but why don't they somehow work together, have a middleman even, to make sure that they are the most optimal uh, compatibility that you can have, so when you purchase when you purchase the console, they make it so you have to, their TVs are so good that they will match up the best picture quality wise with you know, their TVs. And it's not like that. Like, I just feel like Samsung right now is killing it. Um they Whatever you throw at it right now, whether it's a DVD, whether it's 4K ACR gaming, 4K streaming, in those categories. SDR is a different story. I don't really like to get into SDR too much because I am not personally a fan. I don't really watch a lot of content in SDR. I don't like it. It just bothers me, being able to, when I know I can get better quality in HDR. So I'm just spoiled in that perspective. And I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I will. If I have to watch something in SDR, I will, but I don't enjoy it as much. I just don't. So, anyways, um, yeah, I mean, the quality of these TVs are starting to surpass brands that are charging more. Um, and it's, yeah, you can still see some differences here and there, but they're getting so refined to the point where those downfalls or quirks or things that, let's say, are not their strengths compared to a brand that's $2,500 more, are it that the issue is so small that you can literally look past it because it's really not that big of a deal. um, 90% of the time you're not even going to notice it, and that's the big point that I'm trying to make here, guys. So just remember that. So, like, it really does, of course, depend on your primary use case and what you're specifically looking for. But when it comes to like value, guys, I'm telling you, the S90D is probably going to be the best TV for your house. And I truly hope that they come out with an 83-inch. Samsung comes out with an 83-inch for the 2025 models. That will be in my house. And I would hope that they do fix some of that flickering or motion. I mean, even in 4K HDR, I notice it in certain panning motions, in certain scenes, particularly like dark scenes with small highlights or a lot of small highlights in the picture. Um, I just feel like it's an issue that I definitely notice, and maybe it's because I'm just spoiled by that G4 A1 processing, things like that. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about, guys, is overall, right? Let's go to the G4, for example, right? Overall, G4, even though it's a W OLED and it's older technology, the reason why it's so good is because it's a trusted technology. It's been around for a long time now. It's perfected. Let's say, it's hit its peak, for example. But look at how good and smooth that processing is. I mean, guys, it doesn't skip a beat. It is that good. Um, Natively out the box, it's insane. It's really hard to explain. I just feel like people underestimate that. You really have to take that into true consideration. Um, it is truly noticeable, especially when you're just sitting there watching these TVs really, really close and tight, and you know, kind of target what you're looking for. You notice things, and you start to realize that processing is a big deal. Um, yeah, uh, all their motion is good. All their um, image processing is top notch, all three of them. But yeah, trust me, guys, you definitely notice the difference when it comes to the G4's motion and clarity. I just think that that gets a little bit underestimated, and people just say, "Oh, well, you know, yeah, the S90D is the best value and this and that," and it is. But let's just say you want to take it up a notch, and you had to really choose between the true best of the best overall motion, um, gaming, uh, upscaling, fine tuning, and things like that. Even though it doesn't have as much color pop as the S90D, or even as much color as the Sony A95L. It's still close enough to really say, you know what? I'd rather pick the G4 than the S90D, and I'm willing to spend that extra money for that better processing. And I will tell you guys, you will notice it if you had these three TVs in your home too. You will notice the better processing. It is noticeable. I will say that, and I say hands down the G4 out of these three TVs that you're looking at right here in this video, the G4 again has the best processing. So Sony's gonna have to do something about that. And like I was saying before, is it gonna be even enough at this point to still justify your price point? Because guys, let's face it, it's been a year, and the 77-inch A95L, I think, is still 5,000 at Best Buy. I mean, if even if they discounted it, what is it, 500? I don't even know, but if you guys want to check that, go ahead. I haven't looked in a while. I think the last time I actually saw the 77-inch available online at Best Buy, I think was probably about a week ago, and it was like still 5 grand. So it might have changed. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to really talk about that. I will say when it comes to 4K HDR content, gaming, and then brightness and color, I still gravitate towards the S90D the most. It's just the most eye pleasing out of all three TVs. Um, and it has really good sound as well, which doesn't get talked about enough. I like the sound out of the A95L better than the G4, but not better than the A95L. The A95L easily has the best sound quality out of pretty much any TV I ever had in my life, just to let you know. And that doesn't mean that you don't need a sound bar, you don't need a surround sound system. I'm just saying that when you're comparing them uh, from, you know, TV speakers to TV speakers, the A95L is my personal favorite. Um, Menu system and understanding of menu system, I guess I would probably go with the A95L first and then the G4. I like the way the layout, the organization is of your settings and how you go through them better. And like if you click backwards and stuff, it'll go to what you last were at. It'll like remember it. So which it just goes back smoother in a more organized way. I like that. And I don't know, it's just little things that I noticed. But again, that spread that the A95L had in 2023 against this competition has definitely narrowed in like one blink of an eye. It's insane. So, um, picture quality wise, I mean, again, the S90D I feel like is the most eye catching. And if it came down to it, guys, I would probably get rid of the A95L if it wasn't for all the other um, advantages it had. And if it wasn't so much money, I would probably get rid of it easier too. And that's really honestly about it, guys. So thank you so much. I will talk to you more about it. Please leave your comments in the comments section, guys. Believe me, I do read them. They come through as notifications, as if I was getting text messages. And I read them. I really, really do. So thank you. I do read them, and like, I just smile and I want to get back to you guys, but um, it's hard. So with work, I truly wish and would rather do this uh, than anything else. So I do it for you guys. So it really means a lot. So thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.